Since the beginning of pickleball, everyone's been asking, how do I beat bangers? I keep losing to players that just hit the ball hard. How do I beat them? Today, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you my #1 tool that's gonna help you defend against bangers to put them right back in their place when they try to drive at you. One of the most common things that I see preventing players from defending hard drives is poor preparation when they're running into the net. If you want to be able to hit those drives back hard and keep a banger back off the kitchen and keep them from coming in and continuing to attack, we have to have really good preparation with our paddle. So if we just walk on up to the kitchen line, have our paddle down, and are standing on our heels, like I am just here, you're probably not gonna make the ball, or if you do, it's gonna be an easy pop-up. So what that means, we have to have a little bit more intensity with our preparation. To start off, the first thing we're gonna talk about is our ready position. So when I approach the kitchen line off return of serve, I need to make sure that I'm moving with my paddle up, and when I get to the line, my paddle is up above the level of the net. One of the most common things that I see among players when they're defending drives and struggling with it is they're approaching the net with their paddle down. When I'm down here and my paddle's below the level of the net, well, the ball would have to go through the net to get there. Unless someone's hitting some crazy topspin drives, which isn't necessarily the shot that I'm talking about right here, the ball is not gonna dip down below the level of the net, especially not at that intermediate level where players haven't mastered topspin yet. What I need to do is have that paddle up nice and high above the net, because if somebody just rips a hard ball at my chest, I need to be able to defend above the net. So I'm gonna have my paddle up and in front of my body, and I'm gonna prepare it that way as I'm moving. So when I'm coming up to the kitchen line, I'm not gonna be walking up with my paddle down. I'm gonna be moving with my paddle up nice and intense. So that way, I'm fully prepared to just block the ball back when it comes to me. If I'm down here and my opponent drives it at my chest, now I have to pull my paddle up and go out to block it. That's two separate motions in the split second of time that I have while that ball is coming to me. So here's what I mean. As I approach on this return, watch how I move with my paddle up. And then from there, all I have to do is go out to get the ball instead of having to come up and then go out. So the first thing we have to do before anything else is make sure that our paddle is up. If your paddle's down, you're gonna have a really tough time defending hard shots. If your paddle is up, it makes it a lot easier because you have to do less, and in pickleball, less is more. So having a good ready position isn't just about having your paddle up. So here, my paddle's up above the net, but this actually isn't a great ready position because my elbows are tucked into my side. So when I'm hitting this volley and I'm waiting for the ball, I actually wanna be here with my elbows off the body. And that's one of the most common things that I see that's causing players to pop up the next ball on the drive. When you're in here, what you have to do to get the ball is you have to swing out with this huge swing. We usually want to hit the ball towards the end of the swing, but if I'm coming from here to here and I'm hitting at the end, now my paddle is decelerated, so it's not gonna be moving very fast and the ball is gonna die off it. Same thing if I hit it too early. If I hit the ball close to my body, I don't have enough room to accelerate the paddle, and I don't have enough strength with my arm because I'm all bent and close in. So the ball is gonna die off the paddle there too because I don't have optimal acceleration. So instead I wanna keep my elbows up and off my body. So that way, when I go to block the ball, I'm just using this nice, small, compact swing, which is easier to time, so I can hit it right in the middle of my swing. And then from there, the paddle's gonna have good acceleration because I don't have to take this huge swing and worry about hitting it perfectly off of this huge swing. As you guys know from playing a lot of pickleball, the harder the ball comes at you, the harder it is to take a big swing. I'm never gonna return a drive by taking a huge swing like that because I would miss it 9 out of 10 times. So I wanna keep this swing nice and compact. Where in here, that's not compact because I do this, but out here, it is compact because I don't have to go out to get it as much. So now that your preparation is set with a high ready position off your body, you're gonna be ready to use the one shot that's gonna be a banger's worst nightmare, which is your backhand punch volley. When the ball is coming hard at us into our body, which is where most drives are gonna come, especially at that intermediate level, it's gonna be our best defense to hit a backhand straight off our body. That's called a backhand punch volley. When we're hitting the ball out in front and we're pushing the paddle face out towards our target. Now we can't hit this shot with poor preparation, so if I'm in here and taking a huge swing, or if my paddle's down, I can't really execute. Preparation is a good part of this shot. Or if I'm out here All I'm gonna do now in order to hit my punch volley is turn my paddle so that way it's parallel with the net, and from here, I'm gonna punch forward. It's a very compact shot. As players get more advanced, they tend to want to do things that are gonna overcomplicate their game. So for example, one error that I see a lot of is players trying to hit topspin counters off of drives. For example, a backhand flick or a backhand roll. If somebody drives really hard at me and I try to hit topspin, I'm probably gonna miss that ball because it's super hard to time. We don't need that. All we need to do is this compact punch volley from out in front, because that's gonna allow us to keep the ball down and hit forward and low, so that way the banger can't have another one that sits up, or that way I don't outright miss it. So the key is we wanna hit this ball straight, so that way it stays low and skips off the ground. It's very difficult to drive a ball that comes from below your knees, and the backhand punch volley is gonna help keep that ball nice and low, so that way they can't drive the next one. Now the key is once you execute this shot is you wanna aim for their feet. Bangers have an easy time driving high third shots, but if it's low below their knees, that's where they start to miss them in the net or miss them out. So when I hit that backhand punch volley, I'm gonna make sure that I'm keeping it nice and low, so that way they have to swing from down here, which usually is gonna result in an error.